Vince is right. Vince would have set Hogan up to where when he came out, he would have created an atmosphere. He would have created. It's called television programming. So I don't know. He shot a little promo against Triple H and the creative for WWE. It was a little shot.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Hulk's death and legacy, now obviously he died. And like you said, a lot of people have been tearing him down because of his comments. To the point where like that even wrestlers can't even comment on the positives of his life. You got things like Chelsea Green over here having to come off Twitter because people are just too much. It's
And
like,
she had something positive to say about him, or no?
yeah. It
Yeah,
says
right.
right
And
here,
it was
political views aside, Hulk Hogan's influence on the wrestling world was clearly undeniable. He inspired millions and shaped an entire generation of fans, my husband included. We are mourning the loss of an icon, a legend. My love goes out to his family. Then she says, I've tried to keep my page positive and comedic, but today a lot changed. Social media was supposed to be a fun place. It hasn't been in a while. Blah blah blah.
I fucking love Chelsea Green. She's from Canada, where Hogan was bigger in Canada than he was in the U.S., and that's hard to say. But just go back and watch all the Montreal fucking clips. Go back and watch all the them blowing the Sky Dome off. You know what I mean when he
Yeah.
walks in. So
So first off, three things need to be kept in mind here when you talk about Hogan. Okay. First of all, you're never gonna see a wrestler not hold his influence in wrestling higher than his personal influence. It just doesn't happen. They're not fans. They're they're wrestlers. Their whole life revolves around wrestling and wrestling personas and the two, and they see more of that than a mark. They don't get it. So you're not going to see a wrestler outright talk shit, or not many wrestlers outright talk shit about Hogan completely and not admit what he's done for the. Secondly, when you do hear shit talked about Hogan, there's a lot of shit talked about Hogan as a person, in the wrestling industry, and that's valid. And the racist remarks are valid too, but when it comes to the racist remarks, because when people just use that, right? When there's plenty of other shit to throw around, like how he was in WCW and whatnot. When you're just saying, "Oh, but he's a racist," it's like, yeah, he was. It was 18 years ago. Let it go. Like, people are supposed to be able to make mistakes, have consequences, learn from it, change the way they think, and move on with their lives for the better. We can't crucify a guy for 18 fucking years for having a living room racism spat. You know what I mean? It's like, at what point is he motivated to be a better person if you crucify him for 18 years?
Yeah. So
you know what I mean? That's like sending someone to jail for the rest of their life.
Yeah. So
So
my thing with the racist. No, go ahead.
No, it's like at this point, it's like, yeah, it happened, but we've been crucifying him for 18 years. Why? Let it go. He's dead now. Like he hasn't been in the industry for 10 years. So if someone's gonna comment on the positives and stay positive because of the memories that they had prior to the incident and the revelation, you don't get to go online and fucking tear them down and belittle them and fucking attack them and shit. Social media has become a place where people refuse to go to therapy and get online and become complete fucking sociopaths.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. So, a little comment. I'll let you get back to Hogan's legacy here. With the racist remarks, my thing is there were so many black. So I get it. There were so many black fans of Hulk Hogan. They grew up with this guy. They loved him. I mean, he did this stuff with Rodman, Shaq. You know, he really put the subculture back into, or he put the culture back into wrestling, right?
Yeah,
He,
Mr.
he, he,
T.
he, yeah, Mr. T. He was, he was the guy. And then this audio came out that was recorded without his will, without him knowing, and it hurt a lot of people. It hurt a lot of black people. It hurt a lot of other people too, not just black people. It also hurt any fan who just does not tolerate any type of racist remarks, which we should not tolerate any racist remarks. I will say this in his defense, right? And I'm not his fucking lawyer, and he's not Uncle Terry. You know what I mean? He's not, all right. But I will say this though, as a human being, we've all said something that if the world heard it, we would be ashamed of it. We would feel stupid. We would feel, like, oh, we want that one back, right? So it doesn't take away from what he says. But I just want everybody to know and to really think back to themselves, be real with themselves, and really think to yourself that, hey, you know what? I might have said some things that if the world knew, the world heard what I said out of context, I'd be ashamed of it. I'd be judged, and to be judged for that, right? You spend your whole life, and it's a perfect example. This is life in a nutshell. You spend your whole life doing the right thing, and it all goes away when you do one bad thing. It's like society and the world in general wants to see people crash and burn. They want to tear down their idols. They want to, they want to see misery. This is us as a human beings. They want to see misery. Company. Yeah, they just love to see, hey, this person's not perfect. But nobody said Hulk Hogan was perfect. Nobody says John Cena's perfect. Nobody says I'm perfect. You're perfect. Nobody's fucking perfect here. You know what I mean? And another thing I would like to say is, I might get a lot of flack from the comments. I don't give a fuck. Everybody's a little bit racist in their living room, man. Just a little bit. You got the news on, right? You're sitting with the family, right? You guys just had dinner. Maybe you're eating it. You see some fucking Asian guy get into a car accident. What's the first thing you say? These motherfuckers can't drive. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Or you see some fucking white person shoot up a fucking school and like, only white people. Fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Put them in timeout. White people can't dance. White people don't. All they eat is vegetables. They got no culture.
They put no salt on their food.
You know what I'm saying? So don't stop it with the, I'm perfect. I'm racist. I see everybody for what they are. It's just not reality, man. It's not reality. And so, like, again, I say that with a disclaimer. I'm not sticking up for Hogan. Nobody should tolerate racism. But as a human being, though, we've all said something we regret. And he apologized for it. He moved on.
And there has to be forgiveness. And you can't sit here and say,
well,
people want to fucking act like you said, oh, they're not perfect. It's like, but are you trying to convince us or yourself? Because it seems like when people do that, they're trying to convince other people that it's okay that they have their own flaws. Because it's like, well, even your idol's just as bad. It's like, but two wrongs don't make it right. And what other people are doing don't make up for you being a shitty person. And like these people coming after Chelsea Green, you're pissed about Hogan doing this thing, but then you're going and harassing her. Yeah. You're not justified. Yeah. You think you're justified. It makes you feel better, making more people miserable with you, but it's not. And people have the right to look at the positives in death. It's not like this guy was a mass murderer.
He never stepped on nobody's head and drowned them. He never did anything crazy where, like, so my thing is you have a right to not forgive him. I want to go back to your point. Like, you don't have a right to forgive him, but who will talk to is the black, fans who were fans of his, grew up with him, loved him, and are heartbroken by him. These are the people I'm talking to. It's okay to still like Hulk Hogan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't
Like,
make
it's
you a bad
okay.
person because he did a bad thing.
Exactly. Charlie Sheen did some crazy shit. I still like Major League. You know what I mean?
I
James
still like
Franco.
2.5 Men.
Yeah, 2.5 Men, one of the best comedy shows. James Franco, Bill Cosby. Okay, Bill Cosby's one of the goats. You know what I mean? So, R. Kelly, king of R&B. Okay, what he did
Big
was wrong.
motherfucker.
What he did was wrong. But I still like his
Vince
music.
McMahon.
It's okay. Vince McMahon.
Stick some beats.
Hey, even P. Diddy. Even P. Diddy. He was a fucking freak. We know it. He was a
And he
freak.
definitely played a role in Biggie and Tupac's death.
I mean, yeah, that's why I don't like him. That's why I don't fuck with him. But I'm saying there's people out there that like his songs.
For what he
Every
did,
breath, every breath we take, every step we take, that's a cut. You know, yeah. So
I'll still listen to that song. I don't give a fuck.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Even though it took Biggie getting killed by his boy to make it happen,
to make a cut, to make it cut,
and, but it's still a cut.
Yeah. So again, back to Hulk Hogan. This guy was, first off, he launched WWF for what it is today. All right, him and Vince McMahon, right? They bet the house on him. Him, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. What was the first main event? Roddy Piper and Mr. T and Paul Orndorff, if I'm not mistaken. That was the WrestleMania main event. They put the belt on him, and he was the horse, and he did his job, man. Then
back then, having the belt, it means you wrestled fucking 310 days of the year.
He was a workhorse.
If not more.
And you know what? And people say, "Oh, his in-ring wasn't that great." It didn't have to be. Charisma, baby. It's a TV show, right? So, second, Vince was done with him. Thought he was too old. They wanted to bring in like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall. These people, that were just under, right before him coming up. They wanted to push these people
that Vince didn't believe Hulk could capture.
Well, no, remind you, there was no Edge before they go to WCW, and he was booed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Edge,
what I'm saying?
Said Scott Hall and stuff, but I forget you're talking about Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon. Yes.
Razor Ramon was non-edgy. Scott Hall was edgy.
Which was a little edgy, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think Vince even knew what he was doing. I mean, he literally had razor cocaine like chopped up. I mean, he was a drug dealer, right? That's what Razor Ramon was. So
anyway. I think that was more Scott than Vince.
No, exactly. Yeah, he snuck that one in there. But no. So my only point is he wanted younger talent in there. Hogan went to WCW, reinvented himself. Not before he was getting booed for being the black and yellow, or I mean the red and yellow. But he pivoted with Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, right? NWO, Eric Bischoff, and he became the greatest heel of all time, greatest heel faction of all time. Unprecedented. So much unprecedented is that they make podcasts about it. 83 weeks. I mean, 83 weeks. That's almost 2 years. It's like 2.5 years. Yeah, or it's a year and a half.
Totally forced WWE to change their product to be more edgy and to compete with it.
Exactly. And
led to Vince doing some of the most outlandish, offensive, and ingenious things you've ever seen.
Yes. He unleashed his talent, right? And they had to. They pivoted. That's the genius in Vince McMahon and, Undertaker, Stone Cold, everybody. Yeah. But, and then so check this out. They crushed WCW. And they bring these people back. And what does Hulk Hogan do? He comes back and does another 2 to 5 year run where he gets a championship belt again for the greatest company of all time. I mean, this guy's the GOAT. I mean, he's the GOAT. You can talk about Stone Cold, Ric Flair, Rock, Martino. I mean, we can go back anywhere you want.
And it's to the point where both the Real American and NWO soundtracks, colorways, the whole personas are staples.
Yes. Yes.
NWO is still a top seller in WWE's
and listen,
shop.
I get it. We could attribute Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to the NWO run. Fuck yeah. Did Hulk Hogan get a rub from them? Fuck yeah. But who was the leader of that faction? And who got the rub more? You go ask Scott and Kevin, and they love that rub they got from Hulk Hogan. So
yeah,
you know,
we got to keep in mind also, like, those guys would have been successful, but there wouldn't have been an NWO without the Hulkster. Like, Bischoff made a point of finding that guy that was big enough to carry Scott and Nash, but not small, not too big to crush them. Like, give them, it had to have big enough gap to give them, breathing room to grow and be better than they were in the WWE without capsizing that leader. So he was that guy the whole time. And not many people you could say could do that. And at the end of the day,
nobody.
Diesel in WWE was done. Like, he was done at that time. Nobody, like, he went to the WCW and he was a success. But would he have been such a success without Hulk and the NWO?
Scott and Diesel, and then my point is not to diminish them. Scott, Diesel was the champion before he left, right? They had he did that little 3-month tour because his contract was over, so they had him drop the belt, and he got beat a bunch of times right at the end. But that was because they already knew he was out the door.
One of the worst WWE champions of all time.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, people didn't viewership wise. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He was the worst. He was the worst out of the three. I mean, he was the worst out of three. Scott's one of the goats. I don't give a fuck what they say.
Diesel only had a push because of the Scott and Hulk match over there.
And plus, he started booking. And of course, he beat Goldberg, which I thought was awesome. I thought that was cool as hell. I mean, fuck. And he made a good point about that. Kevin Nash is like, hey, Goldberg's got to lose that at some point. Like, what is Goldberg crying about? Goldberg's sitting there crying about, hey, if I would have just won 100 more matches, if I would have won 500-0, you know what I mean? Like,
on that note, I'll just say one last thing. It's to capsize what we've been saying, or capture what we've been saying. It's okay to remember the good times and forget the bad.
Absolutely.
But on that note, is
Amen, brother.
Ungrateful.
Fuck yeah, man. This guy is one of the most ungrateful fucking wrestlers to ever grace the ring. First off, I watched that entire Goldberg run live. I was a kid. I was 8 or 9 years old in 97 and 98. And he couldn't wrestle. This was somebody that was fast-tracked straight to the top before he really did too much